Want a coop that saves time and effort? We've scoured the internet to find the top 5 upgrades for your chicken coop. And these guys might give you a few ideas on their own. Before getting into our upgrades, we had a comment from Barbara York Woodside 3716. Thanks for the comment. She had lots of questions, including this one. Besides fencing, any tips on how to keep deer away from the garden that actually work? What do you think?
So I'll jump in on this one. I have battled deer for forever, right? I get both whitetail and mule deer out there, and they absolutely wreak havoc in my garden, in my orchard. I don't know how many fruit trees I replanted from the deer. And to answer your question, not really. I tried the sprays, I tried the powders, I tried the, use the soap, use the hair, all these different things, deterrents. I bought the little electric shockers, that they'll go lick and it's right? 2 things for me have worked for deer. One, I put in an 8-foot fence, and that keeps them out. And the second is having a dog. If and it has to be the right dog. So one of the dogs we had, she was old and she was not in the mood to get up and chase deer, so she'd lay on the porch. And after a while, they figured that out, and they just learned to ignore her too.
Just say, hey.
But the dogs I have now, for example, they don't put up with that. They go down and bark, and that does a pretty good job of keeping deer out too. So dogs or a tall fence.
Yeah, I agree. Those are pretty much the only 2 things. Here at my place, when we first moved in, we used to have deer coming through every day, going down to the river to drink. And they would pass through the yard and they would devastate parts of the garden, the good stuff, the stuff they liked. And then we had somebody build behind us, and that kind of made them steer clear and go around the area. And I haven't really had a problem with deer since. But yeah, if you do have deer coming into your place, tall fences and a good guardian dog are pretty much the only 2, I think, really effective ways. There's some of the other things will work, but minimally. They'll help, but not
They
fix
can
the
deter,
problem.
but if that deer's hungry,
Yeah.
there's not a lot of the options. They'll still keep coming.
Yep.
All right, well, let's move on to what the internet says. Top 5 upgrades for your chicken coop. The first one is the automatic coop door. Is it a game changer, yes or no? And why?
Well, I sure hope so. I recently bought an automatic coop door. I haven't installed it yet, but I plan to do so soon. And where we work, we're up early in the morning. We're at work long before the sun comes up. And I don't want to have to get up earlier and go open doors and then leave the chickens vulnerable for several hours in the dark. And during the wintertime, when we come home from work, it's dark already. So that means it's tough to get the chickens some fresh air and time running around the yard. So I think it would be a great fix, an automated coop door that opens at a certain time and closes at a certain
They are
time.
super convenient. So I bought one and installed it years ago in my coop that I'm currently not using, and they're fantastic. I mean, just for that, right? I don't have to go out there and open them up or close them in. The issue becomes is there's a lot of chicken coop doors out there. Some of them are good, some of them are not. If you're relying, that's part of the advantage, right? Now I don't have to go out there and open them, or I don't have to go out there and close them.
Yep.
But if you're relying on that, and there's a malfunction and it doesn't close, now you've introduced a vulnerability. So it's kind of a, you win some, you lose some. There are some really great benefits to having that automatic door, but there's also some liabilities. So be aware, you might still want to double check, or I've seen people, they'll wire up a little circuit so that when the door closes, a light goes on or turns off, so they can just look out there and, oh, the light's off. Again, what if something happens to the wire or whatever? But
yeah, you definitely want to check them periodically to make sure they're still functioning properly. I know a lot of people around here have trouble in the winter time. When we get those cold storm weather and snow, and it just jams up the door. So you got to keep the tracks or the wires or whatever the mechanism is that opens and closes it clear of that snow and ice.
that was my biggest challenge, is I was always worried about that. So I actually modified mine, went in and I I drilled some things and put in like a little cotter pin that, so when I pull it, it would raise it. But if it encountered too much resistance, it would just pull that cotter pin out and.
Oh.
So that way I wouldn't burn up the motor. But what I found is it would spring load it and go up there and get all and I have to it got to be a real hassle. So they offer some benefits, but they also present some challenges.
Okay, sorry. Sorry.
Oh, you get what you pay for with these things too. Anytime you're paying for automated features like a Coop door, the cheap ones are going to be cheap.
Yeah.
So you want to spend a little bit of money and get a really nicer model.
So we're yes on the Coop door?
I think so. I think they're
Yes,
great.
if you get one that is really good and works well.
All right, let's go on to the next one. Nipple Waterers. Are they efficient? Do they work? What do you think?
Nipple Waterers are great. I've used them for years. I don't currently use them because my turkeys tend to break them. That is one thing. With chickens, they're great. Now they have some that with cups and different. The cups always weirded me out. I'm like, that's gonna get gross. I don't want that. But I just use the little nipples, and they work great. And again, the turkeys use them, the chickens use them. But over time, I find that those turkeys, they hit those hard enough, they start to break them, and then they break out. But I think they're fantastic. The other nice thing about that is I can get a 5-gallon bucket.
Yep.
And now I'm not trying to go out there and refill water, every 3 hours during the day. I can even put in a frozen 2-liter in the middle of it to kind of keep it cool. I think they're great. I love Nipple Waters.
Yeah, and that's my favorite part about them is that I have a 5-gallon bucket with Nipple Waterers on it, and it's hanging up. It keeps the water off the ground, so it's not getting to be a mess. They're not pooping in it or scratching dirt or bedding in it. So it keeps the water clean, and you can fill that bucket up and they're good to go for a little while. Although you do need to be careful in the wintertime, checking to make sure they're not freezing, and really any time like in the summertime to make sure that they're not getting a buildup of dirt or algae or something like that that's restricting the flow of the water.
All right, yay or nay on Nipple Waters?
Yeah, I'm a
Yep.
on that one.
Okay. And the internet tells us the third great upgrade is dropping boards. You agree with that?
Absolutely. So I just installed one of these in my coop. For a year, up until now, it's always been, I've got some roosts or whatever, and then I use the deep litter method, and every, twice a year, and I got tired of that. And it wasn't that big a deal, but I saw, some of this, I was doing some research for some of the other videos. I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. So I actually built kind of a dropping board, and it's got the sand in it. I've got a little poop shovel, chicken poop shovel I ordered on the internet, and it takes just a couple minutes. I can go out there and get all that cleaned up and get that poop out. It's been a game. I still use deep litter in the rest of the coop, but beneath the roost, I got this dropping board, but that's where most of the poop ends up, and it's phenomenal. Been the best, I'm going to say it, the best thing I've done with my chickens and turkeys.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
So I have not put in a drop board in my coop. I've thought about it a number of times. Haven't gotten around to doing it. I also use the deep litter method, but what I found is, I'm cleaning the coop a couple times a year with deep litter, but I'm also going in there regularly and cleaning out that area underneath the roosting bars and putting fresh bedding down underneath the roosting bars because it is such a mess if you let it pile up. And I do think it would be a game changer. Keep that ammonia from building up, keep the air quality good, and really help the chickens, and more importantly, help yourself with keeping it.
Make it easy.
All right. So I'm assuming that's a couple yeses on that too?
Yes.
Yes, although I can't say from experience yet.
Wow, the internet's nailing this one. All right, let's move on to the next one. The next upgrade, external nesting boxes.
All right, so this is one I can speak to because I have external nesting boxes on my coop, and I love it. The coop is tall enough that I can go in and walk in there, although I got a duck so I don't hit the light. But the ability to go out there and just lift up a door and collect all the eggs and not have to go inside the coop, it's great.
And I'm going to offer the counter example, right? I don't have external nesting boxes. My first coop, there was a little tiny shed thing on that I drug over and turned it into a coop. The way I built it up is, there's a little door here which I kind of have to squeeze through, And then there's the roost that I have to walk by, and the nest boxes are in the back. And so I got to walk through all the chicken turds and everything else to try and get the nest. And it's hot. I hated it. Hated it. And
Makes you not want to go collect
I
eggs, right?
did that for 15 years. So yeah, external nesting boxes I think are great. I don't have them. I don't have them on my turkey coop either. I thought about it and I decided just to go with. Well, I'll show you. We'll do a little video, and those nesting boxes go right underneath that poop board. It works great. So
Yeah.
All right, another winner, I think.
yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, and our fifth one, final one, ventilation windows.
Yeah, so we just put out a video not long ago about ventilation and how important it is. So absolutely, if you are lacking ventilation, being able to incorporate that into the coop to get those odors out and that moisture out is going to be a good thing. So, and especially with like windows, because when I hear window, it's not just a hole, right? It's something I can open and close. So it gives me that adjustable. Hey, when I need it, I have it. When I don't need it, I can shut it down.
And that's why it's great for us here. We have extreme temperatures. It's very cold here through the winter,
Yes,
which
it
is very long. And then we have a spell during the summer when it's very hot, often over 3 digits. And the ability to adjust the ventilation by having a couple of windows with screens in there, it's a game changer. It really helps out, keeps that coop from becoming a big hot box during the summertime, but I can also close it up and keep it from getting too cold and drafty in there in the
Yep.
winter.
Make sure they're put in the right places so you don't create drafts.
You don't want them
Make
right
sure
behind where they're roosting.
Cover with wire, that kind of stuff to keep
Yep.
predators out. But they're a fantastic addition.
All right.
Yeah.
So we have another winner there too. So all five
Yeah.
were winners. According to you guys, is there one that's your favorite or something maybe that didn't make the list?
I already caught myself out. That poop board thing, that is
All right.
game changer.
I think one of the things I did was a feeder that will hold a 50-pound bag of feed, and it's one where they have to reach in to get the food so it doesn't spill all over the
Everywhere.
place. That was a game changer. I can go dump a whole 50-pound bag of feed in that thing and not worry about having to feed them for quite a few days, and it doesn't make a huge mess either.
Okay.
So that's a big one for me.
So let's ask the audience, which of these 5 upgrades have you guys tried or maybe have other ones? Please share your ideas in the comments below, or if you have questions, let us know. And as always,
Happy farming.